bit nervous about this. Are you there, Tim? Tim. Oh dear. I knew I had reason to be nervous as well, because it's one thing to have a Rodecaster Pro 2, one of the greatest small to mid-size mixers on the market, but it's not always completely obvious when you press the right button to get the person that you want to talk to through to the right fader. And when that happens, it's tricky, because, I mean, that's what Run DMC would say about it. It's tricky. You don't really know where they've gone. There's somewhere like a ghost in the machine on the mixer, and we're not entirely sure where. And it's a shame, because that's what they could. Do you remember there was a fantastic sketch that Eddie Izzard did back in the day, where he talked about the best laid plans of mice and men, and he said that's a great idea, isn't it? The best laid plans of mice. What would be the plans of mice that they would be sort of not fulfilling? You know, shall we nick that cheese or not? This is the big question. Well, I'm upset. The only reason I'm upset is because
I had a surprise for you, and I've got a surprise for you.
And the surprise is that on the telephone line, we do have Tim Burgess. Are you there, Tim?
I'm here. That was In Your Car by Big Deal.
Fucking hell. You know you can't...
Was that good? That's what you wanted, right?
You're on it, you. I sort of remember, actually, years ago. I mean, I'm talking about 8 years ago or something like that, and I was doing a breakfast show on Six Music, and you did... I think you did your first... like the first radio show that you'd done or something, it felt like. You know, it was at Christmas maybe or something.
It was Christmas and New Year. Yeah. I did like a morning show, or maybe the one after you or something like that. And then I thought the best way to do it would be to ram it full of guests, so I didn't have to do much presenting, you know.
You could just converse with people.
Yeah, just so Holly Johnson came along, and I think I had Boy George on the phone, and I think Noel Fielding dropped in, and
because I remember you were sort of nervous at the time. We talked about it off air, and you were like, "Can you give me any tips?" And I was like, "You're coming to the wrong fucking guy." I tell you that.
Well, you did say be yourself, and I was thinking, okay, that sounds a bit rubbish. But I did enjoy it. I mean, I was nervous because it's always good to be asked questions as opposed to be the one asking.
Yes,
you know?
That's true. I find that a lot. I found that especially in the last few months of what I've enjoyed. Apart from there's a certain amount of solipsism in it, but more than the self-centeredness of enjoying talking about yourself. It's more than that. It's the fact that it's not on you. You don't have to stress out about. Think about structure of a. Will they be offended if I don't know about that?
That's hard to me, and also you have like a producer, don't you? Sort of like saying, "Hurry along," you know.
Yeah, it can all get very stressful.
Make it more interesting.
I used to have a producer who shall remain nameless back in the late noughties when I first started on my breakfast show, and this person, I won't even sex this person, would stand up at certain points, especially towards the end of the hour. And just get their hand and just sort of do the cutting on the neck motion when I was in the middle of a mid flow, in a sort of link, like shut up, get on with it. I thought that's just unbelievably rude and very off-putting. So there you go. They've recently received an OBE. So what do I know? Tim, how and where are you in the world at the moment?
How am I? I'm doing great. And where am I? I'm in Glasgow, and more specifically in the stock room of Monorail Records, because I wanted somewhere quiet to do this important interview, and so I'm backstage, backstage of a record shop, really.
And are you with Stephen from the Pastels?
I'm with Stephen from the Pastels, and I'm having a non-alcoholic beer, and it's a very sunny day, sunny afternoon, actually.
Lazing on a sunny afternoon.
lazing on a Sunday afternoon, and I'm just looking at some important records and books, one by John Savage and one by Blondie.
Have you? Is it not? It's not England's Dreaming, is it?
The John Savage one is Teenage, and the Blondie record is Sunday Girl, which is it's an EP. I think it's a record store day thing with 4 different versions of it. But anyway, so that's where I am, and I DJ'd last night at Dune, the Rabbit Hole. So that's why I'm there.
Oh, Glasgow's one of the best cities in the world. I first properly went there very, very recently, 2017, I think it was, for the Six Music Festival. And it was everybody was so unbelievably gorgeous to us. And I remember me and my wife we came out Barrowlands late one night, and a guy just came over and was just like, I love you, you're great, and then come with me. And he took me to a chippy and bought us a fish supper each. And I thought that doesn't happen very often. That.
No.
Something beautiful about that place.
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time there, and especially around about 94. Around about then, I was spending a lot of time up there then. But from the very first time that the Charlatans ever toured, Glasgow sort of showed us the best time. It was the only time on our first ever tour, King Tut's, they fed us, and it was like the only time that we ever got fed by a venue.
That's
like,
it.
Amazing.
There's something there's an extra depth of hospitality. I don't think I'm being sort of stereotypical about it. I read John Cooper Clarke's book recently, and he talks about how that was like the hardest crowd, but if you crack them, you get the most love out of that crowd, and all this stuff. It was like, it seemed to be true.
They can see through the the kind of they can see through
the bullshit,
and they decide whether you can cut it or not.
I was going to mention just quickly, I want to talk about your new single next, but Blondie, Johnny Marr has been playing with Blondie. I did a podcast recently, recording with Johnny recently, and he's written a couple of songs for Blondie as well. Wow. Can you believe? Wow. So that's like a real incredible moment for him. But I was just going to say, you and Johnny sort of remind me of each other. You don't shirk from the tribulations of life, but you have an air of positivity, right? Which is
I love Johnny. I mean, I think that too. Actually, I know that. It's like, I'm going to compare myself to someone. And it's like, okay, you're going to compare yourself to someone. Okay, I'm going to compare myself to Johnny Marr.
Well, I've just done it. I honestly do think that you've got there's something allegorical. There's something that connects you both, which is like not a cheesy positivity, but a kind of, is it innate, do you think? Have you always been basically a positive person, or do you think it's something you have to work on over time?
I think it's something that I've had to work on. I've always been mostly positive. But then, there's kind of, there's been a time, I suppose, really, for me, like late 90s to like mid 2000s, where I kind of like, I got lost in sort of like, having too much of a good time, really.
Yeah.
That the down times were really down. Just, drink and, alcohol and drugs, really, and so once I'd gone through that phase, the positivity kind of came back kind of naturally, and then I kind of worked on it a bit more with sort of Transcendental Meditation, which I've spoken to you about in the past, and that kind of like just keeps me a bit kind of steady. But I work on it, I think maybe as you get older, you get to work on it a bit more. I don't know, or feel like you should.
It does fit. Yeah, it's something that you realise, don't you, that it's not a given. Having a good state of mind, it's a bit of a, it's something. It's like a garden. You've got to maintain the bastard, haven't you?
Yeah, that's it. And when it grows, it can like get dark.
Yeah. So we've all got to get out there with our hose. It's a bit. It's a bit like this, Tim. This community garden that you're in now with me and my listeners. It's just this beautiful little oasis of like minds. And
like an orchard.
Yeah, it is like that. It's verdant. It's a verdant paradise of positivity.
I love that. And I think Johnny. I mean, I hope he wouldn't mind me saying. I think he's been through a lot of stuff too, you know,
Yeah.
and maybe that's the similarity. But I actually do think we're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Striving for greatness.
That's it.
If that's allowed to be said, you know, and you know, just keep pushing it, really.
Well, let me ask you before we go any further, right? So you're in Glasgow at the moment. So what's the rest of the summer like? Are you playing with the band at all? Is your next phase a solo phase? What's that all about?
Well, it's kind of bits of both. You know, Charlatans playing lots of festivals. You know, we've supported Liam in Main Road. That was really good. We're going to do a couple more with him. And then my solo stuff, I'm playing Blue Dot next weekend, which we did a conversation, didn't we, a couple of years ago.
2016, I remember. Yeah.
2016. So I'm going back there and playing with my solo band, which is not just me. There's there's 7 of us, so it's quite a big thing. And then kind of I've got like a few shows booked solo at the end of the year. But it's kind of mixing it up a bit. I've got a listening party book coming out at the end of the year as well. So
they've been going so well, so well.
Yeah.
And we've even nicked it a little bit. Tufty, one of our gardeners, we do a listening party, I think, on Mondays now as well. You know, it's sort of possibly
in the garden.
In the garden, yeah. We have a thing called Discord, which sounds dystopian, but it's like a lot of the gamers use it. It's like an online forum, but a lot of the community gardeners go on there and chat, and they do a sort of listening party on there as well.
That's amazing. So you have a community garden, forum.
Yeah.
With listening party in there. It's just like it is its own world within a world.
It is. It really is. A bit like Tim World, which we also enjoy inhabiting.
I love that you love that.
Just tell us a little bit, because I'm my Something New track today. I do a wedding playlist every week, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Our Something New track is your new single, which is called Typical Music. A video by Kevin Godley, no less.
I know. I did a listening party with Kevin, and he had done a couple of Charlatans videos in the past, did a 210cc listening parties, which are just amazing. What a band, and we just kind of like got talking about doing videos again, and he wanted to try something out on me, which he's put me through it in the past a little bit. Upside down, hanging upside down for a day after a curry was kind of one of his best ones, and then spinning me upside down completely and felt like revolving me for 12 hours in the Forever video was pretty hard. So anyway, he got this other idea of like torturing me for the sake of his humor,
Oh,
and so Typical Music was the track, and he liked it, kind of like the energy in it.
It's well worth seeking out the video, because it's brilliant to see, and and of course I think that, am I right in saying that it is the harbinger of a double album, a 22-track album that's going? When's that going to be out?
Yeah, well, that's out on the 23rd of September. It is a double album. Everyone knows what double albums are. That in some cases they were considered quite indulgent and quite kind of got a little bit overblown. I was trying to fight that and thinking that I was kind of offloading all of my stuff so everyone could see that I'd given everything. That was my intention with it. I'm pleased with it. As the closer it gets to release and date, I'm just like more kind of just desperate for people to hear it all now. I'm just like, I'm kind of like just ready for it to come out. But
well, so are we. We can't. We can't wait. We can't wait to see you live as well. It's going to be great. And if you're at Blue Dot, then you will see Tim, which is very exciting indeed.
Yes, that's it.
Well, we'll let you finish your alcohol-free IPA before it goes warm in the can, which is the worst of all fates for beer.
I think so. Yeah. And well, it's great to talk to you, Sean.
You as well. Thanks so much, Tim. Would you do me the honour of? Would you introduce Typical Music for me as yourself?
Yeah. So this is me, Tim Burgess, and I'm going to introduce Typical Music, my new single, and I hope you like it.